Mr. Speaker, our democratic system of government promises that the will of the people it serves will be heard. But it does more than that. It also promises that the right to debate will not be trampled underfoot by the might of simple majorities. In so doing, it seeks to protect the needs of all its citizens rather than simply those of the biggest, the richest, and the most well-connected groups in our society. For all these reasons, the rule in the bill we have before us today is onerous on two separate but connected levels. It shouldn't be a handful of people in a back room that decides what ideas this democracy is allowed to consider. And yet, while 8 Democrat amendments were made in order last night in the Rules Committee, almost 20 were not. Among those silenced were crucial corrections to this legislation that would have protected the needs of American consumers and citizens against the unchecked ambitions of some of our nation's largest and most well-connected companies. Companies, I might add, who were perfectly willing to hand over all of our records to the government. Now, perhaps this makes sense, considering that what we have left is a bill that without amendment will radically undermine a technology that has been proven to embody the democratic ideals of our nation in a way that few inventions ever have. I am, of course, talking about the Internet. That's what my Democrat colleagues and I are talking about when we speak of America that's for sale. Assaults on democracy here in the House and ripple out and hurt Americans everywhere. Consider some of the amendments the bill turned down yesterday, the Rules Committee turned down yesterday. Representatives Doyle and Dingell gave us an amendment that would give local officials and mayors some power over where and how telecommunication companies could build their infrastructure in their towns and cities. This bill will take that power away from them. But the majority didn't allow us to debate the amendment today. Another amendment sought to require telecommunications companies to provide high-speed Internet access not just to the well-off neighborhoods, but to all the neighborhoods in our cities and towns so that all of our families would have access to the power and knowledge that comes with information. And that amendment was rejected by the majority. Another amendment would have taken an aggressive stance against redlining, the practice of denying service or offering inferior service to consumers because of their race, national origin, religion, or gender. That amendment was turned away by the Republican majority. Mr. Speaker, these were amendments written for the benefit of all Americans. They were designed not to unfairly impinge on the ability of telecommunication companies to do business, but rather to ensure the business done served the public good and the needs of all of us. But when we examine what was put into the bill before us, it makes sense that a handful of folks in the leadership decided for all of us that the amendments would be left out. The Communications Opportunity Promotion and Enhancement Act of 2006, as it stands today, will do much more to limit online opportunities than it will enhance the experiences of users or promote the democratic digital flow of ideas. It's a bill written by and for a limited number of companies that are already wildly profitable, all so they can make even more money, and the American people will pay the price. It is indeed true that corporations like Verizon and AT&T have invested a great deal in the high technology infrastructure empowering our information economy, but they are being compensated richly for their efforts by ordinary consumers who pay to access their systems. Verizon, for example, is one of the largest corporations in America with annual revenues in excess of $75 billion a year. Because the information superhighway these companies help build has remained open to all and free of arbitrary tolls, it's been home to an unlimited profusion of new and novel companies. It's the basis of the greatest exchange of ideas, opinions, and information in human history. It has become instrumental to our global economy and to our international political system, and it has allowed a free market to truly flourish. Today, anyone with an idea or business concept can share it with literally billions of others. Open telecommunication systems have broken down walls and made old barriers obsolete. But my colleagues and I are not exaggerating when we say that all of that is threatened by this bill. It permits major telecom corporations to serve those who can pay them the most better than those who can't pay. The Internet has traditionally been a true marketplace for ideas and commerce, with small and large vendors competing on equal footing, a true community bazaar for the 21st century. This bill, if not amended, will bulldoze the dynamic Main Street-style marketplace that is our Internet today and would replace it with a one-size-fits-all Walmart Superdome. We've all seen the effects that type of development has had on local communities all over America. Why on earth would we help the Republicans do the same thing to the Internet as well? Why should Americans accept the destruction of the very concept that makes the Internet what it is today? The truth is, under this law, independent online media outlets and small Internet businesses won't be able to compete anymore. And Internet users will eventually have no choice but to use the services of an ever-dwindling number of online organizations. Innovation of all kinds will be stifled, and the ultimate leveler of the playing field will have forever been tilted in favor of the already rich and already powerful. And all of this will have been done simply so the wealthy can make more money. The solution to this unacceptable outcome, Mr. Speaker, is known as net neutrality. And my colleagues, Mr. Markey, Mr. Boucher, Mr. Eshoo, and Mr. Inslee, have authored an amendment to enshrine that concept in this legislation. I should say, Mr. Speaker, that while the rule we are debating here today will fortunately allow us to debate the amendment, it does not make in order another fine net neutrality proposal that Chairman Sensenbrenner and Ranking Member Conyers developed in the Judiciary Committee. Now, net neutrality is being portrayed by some as an attempt at excessive regulation, but the opposite is the truth. But what we are doing here today will have long-lasting repercussions, Mr. Speaker. I pray we do it right.